Make it quick, you guys. The cops are here. We gotta move it.
Conversations about Rockstar these days tend to be predicated on rumors about Grand Theft Auto 6 and/or praise for Red Dead Redemption 2. This makes plenty of sense for obvious reasons, but let's not forget that Rockstar has plenty of other great franchises out there that could all conceivably get a sequel one day. Bully, Manhunt 2, or even the incredibly excellent Max Payne 3 could all arguably be great candidates for a proper follow-up. And hearing about any such game being in development wouldn't be a massive shock. Out of the impressive catalog of great games that Rockstar has churned out over the years is, of course, LA Noire. From Team Bondi, the game revolutionized how expressive in-game faces on video game characters could be, with a very interesting facial capture technique that has inspired others like it for years afterwards.
I hear it's you who nabbed our malefactor from the shooting yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Then tell me, Boyle, I hear you're quite the climber, a man of initiative. How would you like a chance at smiting this man with the sword of justice?
You're asking me to conduct the interview, sir?
I am, young Phelps.
The setting was an incredibly vivid and well-realized vision of Los Angeles in the 1940s, with all the clothes, cars, lingo, and pop culture artifacts all in their proper place, making the game's world feel just as vibrant and alive as any other big-budget game's world can. Even today, the original game's visuals might just fool you into thinking it's not nearly as old as it is. Since all of these things were in place, LA Noire received plenty of high marks from mainstream gaming review outlets, and it sold fairly well. Sure, it was not the sales juggernaut that a Grand Theft Auto game would be, and it did get some dings in the reviewing community for some fairly redundant mission structures, long-winded cutscenes, and the gameplay style that made some players feel a little more removed from the action than they were expecting to be. But overall, the reception was quite good all around. So why has so much time gone by without a sequel, despite Rockstar saying how important the IP is to them? Where the hell is LA Noire 2?
And now some housekeeping. Warm Central Division welcome for Detective Cole Phelps. Some of you guys may know Phelps. He's the cop who broke the jewelry store murder. Stand up and take a bow, Phelps.
If it's all right with you, sir.
That's an order, Phelps.
Shh, quiet, everybody.
LA Noire was a success by all reasonable standards. Reviewers mostly gave it 8s and 9s, and gamers who liked this type of thing really dug it. It would then come as no surprise that on May 22nd, just after the game released, McNamara publicly stated that a sequel to LA Noire would take less than the 5 years it took to develop the first game, as the technology already exists, and they were considering using the same motion scanning technology for full body performances for a sequel, rather than only using it for faces. This is an interesting admission, as the faces in LA Noire look outstanding even by today's standards, and it's even more intriguing to imagine what the same level of detail could do for the subtle nuances of full body movements. In an investor conference call, Take-Two Interactive's CEO Strauss Zelnick said that LA Noire was a very successful release, and that they have every reason to believe that LA Noire is another strong franchise for this company. So, all seems good to go, right? If only the world of video game development was that simple. Also, around the same time, it was announced that McNamara's next game would be developed by KMM Interactive Entertainment. Team Bondi, however, didn't have the best reputation in the industry, with lots of claims of unethical working practices being bandied about in relation to their company. This made it hard to bring others on board for the project. This, in a way, would have made it a pseudo-successor to LA Noire, although it would lack a clear LA Noire title, due to the IP not being in the hands of this company. It would feature similar gameplay, though with lots of story-driven action-adventure elements, and the motion scanning tech used in the original LA Noire was supposed to be used for it. However, as games in development hell often do, the game went dark for a long time and was eventually confirmed to be cancelled several years later, in 2016. So what happened exactly? Well, details are scarce, so it seems like the talent behind LA Noire moving on to their next game, and the folks at Rockstar were both at a standstill with their separate visions. Both wanted to continue building on the basic tenets of the game in their own ways, but neither were really getting anything off the ground. Perhaps if the two had stayed a little more in line with each other, something more substantial might have emerged. But as they went their separate directions, it seems like nothing was really going to take hold. While the death of the spiritual successor might not necessarily mean that a new proper sequel is never going to happen, it does spell some danger for the game ever becoming a series, especially now that modern consoles have seen a remaster of the original game, and it was received with a fair amount of meh from most. While the facial animations and the storytelling are still impressive, especially when looked at through the lens of 2011 gaming, it still wasn't a particularly good reading on the interest barometer that would normally get bigwigs at major game publishers like Rockstar excited about dumping even more resources into a sequel. With all of that considered, and the fact that surely something is happening with Grand Theft Auto and another Red Dead game, it's hard to see exactly where another LA Noire game fits in Rockstar's portfolio right now.
Give it up, Bowers! There's nowhere left to go!
Looks like we've got the place to ourselves.
That's it for this video. If you enjoyed and would like to see more, feel free to hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell to ensure you'll be notified when new videos go up.